Welcome to African Today, the voice of a changing continent. We bring you the stories shaping Africa's present and future, from breaking news and bold analysis to culture, innovation, and voices on the ground. We're here to inform, inspire, and amplify the heartbeat of Africa every single day. Thank you for stopping by the channel. We hope you enjoy our video. Let's begin.
White Asylum, America's South African Refugees. How a fringe migration story became a global conversation about safety, governance, and survival. For more than a decade, a quiet but emotionally charged migration trend has unfolded far away from the front pages. Thousands of white South Africans, many citing violence, economic decline, and fears for personal security, have sought new lives abroad. Among their destinations, the United States has become a symbolic refuge, a place where some hope to rebuild what they see as a disappearing way of life. This movement is not an organized exodus, nor is it a universally acknowledged crisis, but it is a story, complex, politically sensitive, and deeply human. It raises questions about belonging, security, government responsibility, and how societies respond to citizens who feel unprotected in their own country. The roots of the flight: a nation under strain. South Africa remains a nation carrying the weight of profound inequality, generational trauma, and economic instability. Violent crime is widespread and affects all communities, but its impact plays out unevenly. For many white families, especially rural farmers, the fear is personal. Home invasions, assaults, and farm attacks have become symbols of a country struggling to maintain the rule of law. For these families, the story isn't political theory, it's nightly reality. They live behind security gates, alarms, barred windows, and electric fences. Many describe a psychological exhaustion, the sense of being constantly on guard, waiting for the next siren, barking dog, or distant scream. These conditions have spurred a steady outward migration that began long before the world noticed. Seeking asylum or just escape. A small number of white South Africans have attempted to claim asylum in the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Most asylum claims fail because international law requires targeted systematic persecution, not just high crime or economic fear. Still, the very attempt reveals desperation. For these migrants, the U.S. represents a place with lower violent crime, more economic mobility, cultural familiarity, and most importantly, a sense of institutional stability. They are not arriving with triumph, they are arriving with relief. They are not chasing opportunity, they are fleeing uncertainty. America as a symbolic haven. Those who settle in the United States often describe a moment of emotional shock, stepping into a neighborhood where children play outdoors, where police respond quickly, and where daily life is not shaped by perpetual vigilance. Many adopt the language of refugees, even when they do not enter through asylum channels. The term speaks more to psychology than paperwork. It captures how they see themselves, not as adventurers, but as survivors. In America, they rebuild. Farmers become construction workers. Accountants become Uber drivers. Former business owners start from zero. The American dream may be battered, but to them it is still recognizable. Race, reality, and the danger of simplification. This story is often hijacked by political actors, some exaggerating violence for ideological reasons, others denying legitimate suffering to avoid supporting narratives they dislike. The truth is more nuanced. White South Africans are not victims of state-run persecution, but they do face genuine threats from crime, corruption, and weakening institutions. They are not the only group suffering. South Africa's poorest black communities suffer the most from crime and economic decline. But the fear and trauma experienced by white families are not imaginary, and dismissing them erases real human experiences. To understand this migration honestly, one must hold multiple truths at once. The broader question: what happens when a country cannot protect its people? The flight of white South Africans is part of a larger global pattern. People leaving nations where the institutions can no longer guarantee basic public safety. It mirrors the journeys of Venezuelans fleeing economic collapse, Nigerians escaping banditry, Eastern Europeans leaving corruption, Middle Easterners leaving sectarian violence. The race of the migrant changes, the story does not. When governance weakens, people move. A warning and a lesson. To observers in America, the phenomenon is both a humanitarian issue and a cautionary tale. It shows what happens when crime becomes normal, politics becomes polarized, institutions lose legitimacy, public trust erodes, and people feel abandoned by the state. Migration is always the final vote, the vote with your feet. Conclusion, beyond headlines and narratives. The phrase white asylum is provocative, but the reality behind it is far more human than ideological. It is about families trying to protect their children, communities caught between past injustice and present insecurity, and individuals searching for stability in a world that feels increasingly unpredictable. These migrants are not symbols, and they are not pawns. They are people who came to America not out of entitlement, but out of fear, exhaustion, and the hope that somewhere, anywhere, life could feel normal again.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to help grow the channel. Until next time, see you soon.